Hi guys, Mike here, and today we're going to have a look at two of the best budget ultrabooks available in stores, the Lenovo IdeaPad U310 and the Sony Vaio T13. We're going to start by having a look at these two. You have here the graphite gray version of the Lenovo IdeaPad U310. This is also available in a bunch of different colors, while the Vaio T13 is only available in this brush silver aluminum finishing. For the Lenovo you have aluminum on top and aluminum on the bottom, while the interior is made from plastic, and on the Vaio the entire thing is made from aluminum. So that's probably why you could say that the Vaio T looks and feels slightly better. However, there is one thing with both of these. The screen cover tends to bend a little bit on either of those, which in time might have some unpleasant effects on the screen inside. Now, in terms of size, you will notice that the two are pretty much the same, with the Lenovo just slightly longer and slightly wider, while they both measure about 0.7 inches in thickness. They're also pretty much the same in terms of weight, 3.5 pounds for the Vaio, 3.7 pounds for the Lenovo, which is clearly more than the average 13.3-inch ultrabook weight these days. Now, if we're going to have a quick look at the ports, you just have to put these two together, and here's what you get. On the right side, on the Lenovo, there is the headphone microphone jack, an USB 2.0 port, and the PSU. While on this one you have the headphone microphone jack, you also have a card reader, full-size HDMI, VGA output, and Ethernet. On the front, you have the status LEDs on the Vaio, and you also have the status LEDs and a card reader on the Lenovo. While on this other side, on the Vaio you have the PSU, the cooling grill, and another two USB ports, actually the only two USB ports, while on this one you have a quick recovery button, a wider cooling grill, LAN adapter as well, HDMI, and two USB ports. So as a difference, on the Vaio you have this, you have a VGA output, while on the Lenovo you actually get to one extra USB port, which is actually something quite useful. Now, if you will have a look at the bottoms, you will notice that there's one thing that sets the Vaio apart. You can actually remove the battery and access the memory and hard drive, which is something you can't really do on regular ultrabooks, and the IdeaPad is in that class as well. Lifting the lids, you'll notice that both of these devices are actually quite good looking on the inside as well. However, the Vaio does feel slightly more sturdier because this entire part is made from metal, it's aluminum, while on the Lenovo this is plastic. As well, the screen bezel on the Lenovo is made from glossy plastic, which might scratch and catch fingerprints in time, while on the Sony is actually made once again from metal and feels rather good. In both cases the bezels are slightly thick, and the screen is a 13.3-inch glossy display. Rather poor displays on both of these. The end panels 1366 by 768 pixels resolution. So overall, not that great viewing angles, not that great brightness and contrast. So definitely not something you would expect from a premium ultrabook. But don't forget that these are budget machines. So probably you were expecting some corners to be cut with these devices. Now we should also have a look at the keyboards. Both feature island keyboards. They look quite good on both of these machines. However, while on the Sony the travel is quite poor and the overall feedback isn't very good with this keyboard, on the Lenovo the keyboard is definitely better. There is a little bit of extra flex, which can be a bit annoying, but the AccuType layout is actually very good, and you will notice over here that There is one issue with this as well. You get an extra row of keys here on the right, which might bother you until you get used to it, because with most keyboards you only have an enter and a backspace here on the right. However, overall this is definitely better for typing than the one on the Sony T13. One more thing, neither of these keyboards is backlit, so they're just average keyboards you get on pretty much all the laptops these days. As for the trackpads, this is a glass trackpad on the Lenovo IdeaPad. It's accurate, feels good, supports plenty of multi-touch gestures, and the integrated click buttons are fairly good as well. While on the Sony you have a plastic trackpad. Once again, it's good, but it's a lot smaller. You can see that it's way more cramped than the one on the IdeaPad, and integrates the click buttons as well. So they pretty much are on par in terms of click pads, although you will like the bigger click pad on the Lenovo IdeaPad a bit more. In terms of hardware, both these laptops are built on Intel Ivy Bridge platforms, and they can be equipped with Core i5 or Core i7 processors with integrated graphics, 4 GB of RAM, and hybrid storage. This allows them to be pretty fast during average daily use, but you will also be able to run multimedia content. As you can see here, this is a full HD clip streamed from YouTube. You can run full 1080p content from your device as well. You can use it to browse, you can use it to edit texts, and they will also be able to use for some serious tasks like editing photos or videos. The two laptops also tend to run quite cool during everyday use, and they're not going to get very hot, not even when pushed, when running games or movies for hours. On the other hand, the Sony will get a little bit more noisier than the Lenovo, but in both cases the speakers are actually loud enough to cover the sound from the fans. Speaking about those speakers, they are placed inside, behind the screen's hinges on the Lenovo and behind the keyboard on the Sony. They're decent, they offer decent audio quality, but like with most ultrabook speakers these days, they're not very punchy, and they're not actually very good. They're alright to watch a clip on YouTube or on I don't know, on Hulu, but they're not really something an audiophile would enjoy. Both these laptops feature pretty similar batteries, 4-cell batteries with about 50 Wh on the Lenovo and about 45 Wh capacity on the Sony. In real life, this translates in about 4 to 4.5 hours of life for daily average tasks like browsing, watching clips, editing text, stuff like this, with wireless on, the screen at about 70% and balance mode on. These two laptops are actually budget ultrabooks, like I said in the beginning, and they are going for about $700–800 right now. In fact, the IdeaPad actually starts at $639. That's for an older generation Core i3 Sandy Bridge processor, while for the Sony Vaio you no longer have the older Core i3 CPU, and you can only buy it with a Core i5 Ivy Bridge processor, and that's going to start at $770, while a similarly equipped Lenovo IdeaPad U310 will start at about $720. So that's about $50 cheaper than the Vaio, but when compared to the average ultrabook that goes for $900–100, both of these are actually quite affordable. In the end, both the Lenovo IdeaPad U310 and the Sony Vaio T13 are budget ultrabooks, and in order to meet their lower price points, the producers had to cut some corners with them. As a result, they are slightly heavier and bulkier than the average 13.3-inch ultrabook, but rather poor screens and subpar battery life. The Vaio T13 also has a rather bad keyboard, while the Lenovo IdeaPad has some wireless issues. Still, if you do want an everyday thin and light computer and don't plan to spend close to $1,000 for it, these are for sure devices you must consider. More details about the two are available in the written comparison on Ultrabook review. You're going to find a link towards that in the description below. That pretty much sums it up for today. I do hope you enjoyed this clip, so don't forget to share it and subscribe to our channel if you did. Until next time, Mike out.